Hey everyone, this is Dr. Belinda Wilkerson, also known as Dr. B, coming to you with another live broadcast. This evening, I'm actually by myself, so no guest, and this may be shorter than usual because I have an ask of you. So stay tuned and think about it. What is she going to ask us? So just stay tuned, grab a quick drink, and I'll be with you in a few seconds. Hey everyone, back again with Dr. B and College and Career Conversations. So this one's a little different. Usually I'm giving you information or interviewing someone who's sharing with us their college and career journey. This time, I'm reaching out to you for some information. So one of the things that I have been doing is really immersing myself in learning more about historically Black colleges and universities. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't know anything at all about them, but I'm really doing a deep dive for a variety of reasons. So I have to ask you, but let me tell you what I've been doing. So in doing this research, and I consider myself a lifelong learner. When I was of age and looking for colleges way back in the day, I didn't really know that much about HBCUs, and I also was pretty much a mama's girl and didn't want to go too far from my mother. And I lived in Rhode Island, and Rhode Island doesn't have any HBCUs. And being a first generation college student, HBCUs were not a topic of conversation at my house. As a matter of fact, no colleges were a topic of conversation at my house. So I went to Rhode Island College, one of our state colleges, because they were known for teacher education. And I knew at the time that that's what I was going to do. I was going to become a teacher. So it made sense to me. And it wasn't that far from home because, like I said, I was a mama's girl and I didn't want to be that far from my mom. But in the last few years, I've been, learning here and there about HBCUs, visiting campuses, talking to people. But I really want to immerse myself in learning more about the culture and the experience of HBCUs. So I have given myself a goal of doing a deep dive as much as I can without making myself crazy. So I'm asking for your help in this. So first, let me tell you a little bit about what I've been doing, because I have been doing, looking at some pretty neat things, and I want to be able to share those with you. So first of all, if you don't know what a historically Black college and university is, and if you have no idea why they came into existence, that's one of the first things you need to start doing. And in the show notes, I will be sharing some information with you where you can go back and you can do some of your own learning around it. But one of the things I've been doing is honing in on one college at a time. And folks, if you're joining in, if you have a comment or a question or what have you, please feel free to let me know what's on your mind this evening. So one of the things I decided to do, because there are about 107 HBCUs, and there's no way in the world that, I don't want to do a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one. So I'm kind of trying to make myself come up with a plan. So one of the colleges, so just for personal reasons, because I've had the opportunity to visit this college, I want to say 3 times, I decided to start with Spelman College. So Spelman is a women's college in Atlanta, Georgia, sister college of Morehouse and then Clark Atlanta. So they're all within the same geographical location. They're all close by. So right now I'm trying to do a deep dive on learning as much as I can about Spelman, reading about Spelman, but also just reading about more about HBCUs and what have you. So just to share with you, so Spelman has a fantastic YouTube channel. So if you have not looked at Spelman's YouTube channel, I'm going to strongly suggest that if you want to learn more about Spelman College, that's what you do. So one of the videos that I had the opportunity to watch today, actually earlier today, was one on why we should care technology in the Black community. This is so good. So for people who are thinking about for Black and brown people especially who are thinking about going into STEM, thinking about going into the technology field, this is a fantastic video for you to watch. Even if you don't have to be a female, you don't have to be identify as a female, excuse me. You don't have to identify as a female in order to learn from this wonderful episode on Spelman's YouTube channel. So again, think about that, because when you read this, and then there's another great, and I didn't put it in on the banner, but actually I'll put it in my show notes. There's another great video on their channel about a person who worked at Google and was there's there's disagreement over whether she was fired or whether she left or what have you. But she was doing work with Google on artificial intelligence. And she asked them to look a little bit closer at artificial intelligence and that whole facial recognition stuff and everything. And there was disagreement, and she no longer works there. And as I said, I will put her information into the show notes, because that was another interesting one. And it really made me think about, wow, we need more BIPOC people in the field of technology, because it's not going away. It's just going to become more a part of our lives. Now, here's one of the things I watched earlier, actually over the weekend. Courageous Conversations. So Spelman College has started this series called Courageous Conversations. So there are 3 right now on their website and on their YouTube channel, on their YouTube channel, and with plans to put more up, because it's a series that they plan on continuing. These 3 conversations are absolutely amazing. So one is with Rosalind Brewer, who recently became the CEO of Walgreens. You hear me? A Black woman is the CEO of Walgreens. You need to listen to what she has to say. Then there's one with Robin Washington, who was a former biomedical, worked in a biomedical field formerly. She's currently retired from that, but she's doing some serious stuff still. So again, you get so many nuggets of information from what these women are saying. And one is with Stacey Abrams. Now, Stacey Abrams, if you don't know who Stacey Abrams is, then that means that you were living under a rock, because there's no way, if you're living here in these United States of America, that you don't know who Stacey Abrams is. All I know is that after I listened to this, and I've listened to other things by Stacey Abrams, but for some reason, maybe my mind was just open to hearing what she was saying, or maybe I was just feeling this sense of empowerment and stuff from listening to the other women. But when I was listening to Stacey Abrams on this particular video, I was mesmerized. Mesmerized. I'm buying whatever it is she's selling. I just want to tell you that. So again, I think it's a great way for students who are thinking about Spelman College as a possible school to put on their list, to really dive into their YouTube channel. And I actually would recommend that to students for other schools. Just about every college will have their official YouTube channel. I'm telling you, I am loving everything about the Spelmans. And today, one of the things I did is, because there's so many aspects of college. It's not just about going to your class. It's about what extracurricular activities are there for you, what internships are available for you, what kind of network will you have, what's the culture and the vibe like, and sometimes you can get a good sense of it from watching some of the videos. Does it mean that you're going to learn everything that you need to know from the YouTube channels or what have you? No, but it's a great place to start. So one of the things I love about Spelman and other schools is that Spelman has this fantastic Glee Club. So today I listened to their virtual annual spring concert. You want to hear some beautiful voices. You want to hear some moving music. This is something that you need to do. You need to listen to this. So I just really challenge folks to find out more about the historically Black colleges and universities that are in the United States of America, and also just see what they're all about. They're such an important part of our history, and they are still so relevant and so valuable to our community. They're an invaluable part of the education system, the higher ed landscape. So for counselors out there that may be wanting to connect more with HBCU college admissions people and learn a little bit more that way, there's actually a Facebook group out there that is geared toward college admissions and school counselors being able to connect. And this is the name of the Facebook group. It's HBCU College Admissions and School Counselors Connect. Of course, you go on there, you answer a few questions before you're given permission to join, or before you're actually allowed into the group. But it's a great place just to get information, to find out about what college fairs may be coming up, what scholarships may be available. So people do post on there pretty regularly. So again, that's something I want you to think about. Here's another great thing I listened to. Actually, this has been in the last few weeks. So there is a podcast I love. If you know me, you know that aside from books, I love podcasts. So, podcasts are a great way to while away the time while you're exercising. So if you're out there and you have to walk, or you're on a treadmill or something like that, in order to make it a little bit more enjoyable, listen to tons of podcasts. That's what I do. So one of the podcasts that actually, I think my friend Antoinette Batiste first turned me on to this, because it was posted. I think it was actually posted in the HBCU College Admissions and School Counselors Connect Facebook group, but she reminded me about it. They did a series, so it's called the Black Agenda podcast, and they actually did a series in March where they interviewed about 10 presidents of different HBCUs. You need to listen to this, because you learn about the colleges, you learn about some of the missions, the goals, what they may be planning to do in the future. You would learn a little bit about their history. So the colleges that are represented in this podcast are Jackson State, and this isn't in any order. This is just how I wrote them down on my notes. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at my notes. So there was Jackson State, the Xavier University of Louisiana, which is great for pharmacy, Clark Atlanta in Georgia, Hampton University, yay Hampton, yay Ashanti, who graduated from Hampton, Claflin, which is in South Carolina, Fisk University in Tennessee, another great choral group there. Tuskegee University, hey, Tuskegee has a School of Veterinary Medicine, so think about that. Howard University, everybody knows Howard now because of our VP, but Howard's been around for a while. Grambling and Florida A&M, or FAMU. So those are the ones that are represented in this podcast. Again, you want to look for the podcast. This was during the month of March that they highlighted these particular universities and colleges and talked to their presidents. So this is something that you might want to look into. So one of the other things that I am doing is reading. Always reading, always reading, always reading. So this is my new book for today, or this week. I just got this in the mail the other day. So this is a book that I am getting ready to dive into. Okay. Can you see that? And of course, that'll be in the show notes. It's Shelter in a Time of Storm: How Black Colleges Fostered Generations of Leadership and Activism. And it's by Jelani M. Favors. And just started reading it. So again, my own education, something that you might be interested in, because I think people in general don't know the history of activism in HBCUs. They might know pieces here and there, but again, here's a really good history of some of it. This is just one book out of many. So folks out there who want to recommend other books for me to read or other sites to investigate, please let me know, because like I said, I'm creating my list. I have a Padlet where, as I come up with new resources or things I want to investigate, I'm throwing it on there and then trying to work my way through them. So I really appreciate anything that people can share with me. Hey, Kia Walker, thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. So this evening, I'm really, I'm, it's more of an ask this evening, just letting you know what I'm doing to further my learning about HBCUs. But there's also going to be an ask in there. So folks, just pay attention. That's coming up. So another book, that this might be great for independent educational consultants, school counselors, and other people working with students. It's called HBCU Today, and it's a comprehensive guide to historically Black colleges and universities. So it gives some historical information at the beginning, and then it has different sections on colleges. So where it's talking about, the history of the college, the mission, the motto, some trivia, some academic programs, some organizations, and other things. My only concern is the last time this was published was in 2009. So I would love to know, does anybody know if somebody's out there working on a more current edition of this? Or is somebody working on, if it's not this particular guide, is somebody working on another comprehensive guide of HBCUs? This would be so useful to people that are working with students around college admissions, to have a comprehensive guide where they can just go to one place and get, a couple of pages about it. So no, yes, I know you all have websites, you all have YouTube channels, you all have this, but sometimes it's just nice to pick up a book, pick up something in print and be able to thumb through it. So again, this is something that's available. It was last published in 2009, so it might be something that, time for an update. So here's my ask. So, I do these interviews with folks. One of the things I want to do, that I plan to do, is I would love to have a series of college and career conversations with current HBCU students or graduates of HBCUs. So again, that's my ask. So for people who are interested in signing up or interested in being a guest, you can I'm just putting my email in here so that you will have it. You can send me an email and say that you are interested. And if you have seen any of my past interviews, you know that it's a conversation. It's a conversation. That's what I want to do. I want to have a conversation about your experience at an HBCU. Why did you decide to go to an HBCU? How did you learn about HBCUs? Are you a legacy student at your HBCU? Tell me about it. What, now that you're there, or now that you've graduated, what did you find that you liked the most? What would you like to see different? What would you like people to know about HBCUs? There's so much out there. So like I said, this would be a conversation, and I would love, love, love to have people who attended HBCUs or currently are students at HBCUs to do that. And once you reach out to me and let me know, I will be able to give you some dates to choose from. And I can have up to 10 guests on each of these sessions, or just have one person on each of these sessions. It all depends. I just really want people to hear from folks who have experienced HBCUs. Michelle Burden, thank you so much. Michelle just said that she can ask several people, and I appreciate that, because Michelle, you're always there. You're always helping out, and I so appreciate that. As I said, this is all about me learning. I'm always telling my kids about they need to be lifelong learners. Well, I need to practice what I preach. And because I know I have gaps in my knowledge, and your day can get busy and you start doing this and you start doing that. So I've made an intentional plan to sit down and schedule time to learn about a specific HBCU and then move on. And that doesn't mean, like I said, that I'm going to learn every single tidbit about it, but I'm going to learn enough about it that I can talk intelligently about that school. And if someone asks me a question, either I can answer the question or I know where to go to find that information. So that's something that I want to make sure that I get across to people. I really feel like part of my purpose in doing college and career conversations is to help people get information that will help them, that will help them make informed decisions. There's so much information out there that sometimes people just don't know where to go, or they're not sure what to believe, or they just get overwhelmed by all of the information. So part of what I would like to do is to help make it a little bit easier for people. I'm a teacher. That's what I do. Right now my official title is college and career counselor, college counselor, counselor educator. But all of that is teaching. All of it is teaching. All of it is helping people get the correct information. This wonderful woman that I had the opportunity to work with, Dr. Pat Martin, Dr. Patricia Martin, used to always say at her workshops, students are either advantaged or disadvantaged by what you do. I want students to be advantaged by what I do. So if these broadcasts are helping anybody in any particular way, I am thrilled. If it's only helping one person, that's just one more person out there that's getting this information. So again, if you know of someone that is a current HBCU student or someone that's a graduate of a HBCU that wouldn't mind coming on and being interviewed, okay, you'd have to be doing it for free. This is the volunteer thing, okay? This is a one-woman show over here. So people are doing it as volunteers, and I really would appreciate it. But again, if you know somebody, reach out to them. That's my email up there. They can let me know if they're interested, and I will send them, a couple of dates where they can sign up, because I really think it's important for students to learn about all types of schools that are out there. But like I said, right now, my interest is learning personally more about HBCUs. And so between what I'm reading, what I'm watching, the webinars that I'm watching, I've had some wonderful webinars that I've had the opportunity to be on to learn more about one. There is one I watched recently where it was multiple schools, but one of the schools that was part of that panel was Paul Quinn College, which is an HBCU in Dallas, Texas. It is the only HBCU that is a work college. And a work college means that students have jobs on campus where the pay for the jobs go towards their tuition. So check that out. It's the only HBCU that is a work college. A lot of people don't know that. So again, it's finding out this information, it's sharing this information with people, because I think it's important for us to know what our options are out there, to expand our options, to find out about what college may have a scholarship for me. Like two HBCUs in North Carolina. And this doesn't mean there aren't others, but these are the two that I know about. So North Carolina Central University and North Carolina A&T both have a full ride scholarship. So by full ride, I mean, if you are eligible for this scholarship and you went and you are awarded this scholarship, it pays full cost of attendance. Now, what is cost of attendance? Cost of attendance is tuition, room and board, books, transportation, whatever it is that you need, it covers it. So you can go to one of these schools for 4 years and come out with no debt at all. None, 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 none. But you got to be eligible. And you have to be able to carry that through for 4 years. So again, it's called the Cheatham White Scholarship. So again, that's offered at North Carolina Central University and North Carolina A&T. So people need to know that these scholarships are available. And there are other scholarships available at other schools. So don't say, oh, wait a minute, what about our school? She didn't mention our school. That's just the one I'm mentioning today. Like I said, I am doing this deep dive into my personal learning about HBCUs, so that I can pass that information on to students. So folks, again, here's a great book to read. all about the book. This is, like I said, this is my newest book that I just received in the mail the other day, Shelter in the Storm, How Black Colleges Fostered Generations of Leadership and Activism by Jelani Favors. So that, and any other books that I have around here. So I do have a couple of others, but this is the one for the next month or so, because, you know, I tend to read like 3 books at once. So it takes me a little bit longer. So again, that's my ask. That's what I wanted to talk about today. As always, if you are interested in getting more college and career information, I do have a monthly newsletter, and I would love for you to subscribe to it. So this is the URL to subscribe to the newsletter. So I would definitely hope that that's something that you would consider. And again, if you ever need college and career counseling services, where at Steps to the Future, our goal is to help families eliminate random acts of college planning, shoot me an email. Check my website, go on Facebook. So again, everyone that showed up tonight, I thank you so much for joining. I thank you for taking time out of your evening to listen to this. And for those of you who are listening to this on the replay, I definitely appreciate you listening to it. And for people, as a matter of fact, for people that are on here tonight and that have commented, I had said last week that what I'm going to do is, oh, yes, Anissa, yes, Lemoyne Owen College. All right, Anissa, I know I'm going to have you on there. So thank you so much. So, you know, I know people graduated from college, but I want you to feel comfortable volunteering. So as I said in last week's broadcast, and I got this idea from one of my fellow co-authors, that people that participated in last week's conversation and people that are commenting this week are going to be put into a raffle for an autographed copy of Becoming the Shero. So as I said last week, this was a project that actually Anissa Short, who is his on right now. So Anissa was the project coordinator for this, and she put out a call to women to participate in this particular anthology where they talked about becoming a Shero and they talked about their entrepreneurial journey. So I was fortunate enough to be one of the 14 people. So along with my co-authors, we got this baby out during COVID. So for those people that have commented this week and last week, your name will be put into a raffle for an autographed copy of Becoming the Shero, along with the journal that Anissa created to go along with this book. So for those of you, thank you so much again for joining in. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a guest next week. I'm working on some plans, but I'm getting really excited about some of the people that I've been talking to. I just recently connected with this young man who owns an esport business in Cary, North Carolina, Black-owned esports program. And one of the things that he did in pivoting during the time of COVID, because people couldn't come into the facility and play the games, so he started running an educational academy and helping folks learn more about esports, and in particular, to learn how to be eligible or in the running for esports scholarships. Esports is becoming really big in some colleges, and there are scholarships for esports. So sitting there just playing those video games now might have a payoff. So he's going to be my guest, I think May 17th. So look forward to that. I'm working on a couple of other people. I'm working on someone that works with Hasbro Toy Company to come and talk with us. Local person. So we're looking to get some folks. So I'm reaching out to people, and people are being so generous with their time. I hope to have a current vet, a black woman who is a vet, to come on and have a conversation with us. So again, stay tuned for some of those future broadcasts, and I will see you folks next week. And I thank you so much for joining in, and have a fantastic evening. And again, don't forget to ask those folks about coming on the broadcast. I would love to be able to have people hear from current students and from graduates of historically Black colleges and universities. So, everyone, take care, and I'll get information up in the show notes for you. But I appreciate you so much being here, and have a fantastic evening. Good night.